Hello everyone and welcome to this edition of NASCAR's Almost Champions, Ernie Irvan. Born Virgil Ernest Irvan, January 13th, 1959, Ernie Irvan started go-kart racing at the age of 9 in 1968. By 75, he made the move up to stock cars at Stockton 99 Speedway and Madura, winning a slew of races from then until 1981. In 82, Ernie decided to leave California and head to North Carolina to race NASCAR. He only had $700 to his name, a pickup truck, and a homemade trailer. Once in Charlotte, he supported himself by welding the grandstand seats at Charlotte Motor Speedway, along with other odd jobs. Irvan ended up meeting a car builder by the name of Mark Reno. They teamed up, and Ernie was able to make his first Xfinity Series start at Charlotte in the fall, driving a 09 Pontiac, finishing 27th. He also ran the following week at Rockingham, finishing 35th. In 1987, Ernie and Mark got together to make 2 NASCAR Cup Series starts. He made his NASCAR Cup Series debut at Richmond in the fall, finishing 29th. Then D.K Ulrich gave Irvan a chance to drive his number 6 Kroger Chevrolet, making 3 starts, with his best finish being 15th at Martinsville in the fall. Irvan made 1 start for Reno in the number 56 Dale Earnhardt Chevrolet at Charlotte in the fall, finishing 8th. Then, for the 1988 NASCAR Cup Series season, Ernie Irvan drove the number 2 Kroger Chevrolet and Pontiac at times near the end of the season, full-time. He ran for Rookie of the Year honors as well. Mark Reno served as the team's crew chief until race 16, where he was replaced by Bob Johnson. Irvan's best start was 17th twice at Darlington and North Wilkesboro in the fall. His best finish was 11th at Martinsville in the fall. They did D&Q 4 times, finishing 26th in final Cup Series points. Irvan also lost Rookie of the Year honors by 3 points, at the time the closest points finish in history in the rookie standings. For the 1989 NASCAR Cup Series, Ernie Irvan returned to the number 2 Kroger's Pontiac full-time, owned by D.K Ulrich. This season, the team seemed to have things a little more together from the season prior, and just seemed more solid. Irvan's best start was 8th at Bristol in the fall. His best finish was 6th at Martinsville in the fall. Overall, he qualified for every race and scored 4 top 10 finishes and finished 22nd in final Cup Series points. Even though the team improved, Irvan felt as though his talent needed better equipment. No offense to Ulrich at all. So, Irvan and Ulrich parted ways at the conclusion of the 1989 season. A new decade, 1990, and for Irvan, a new ride to open the 90 Cup Series season. He made 3 starts for Junie Dunleavy in the number 90 Ford. His best start was 16th at Richmond, and his best finish was 13th at Daytona in the spring. Then the following week at Rockingham, since the Dunleavy Racing Group was experiencing sponsorship problems, Irvan made the move over to the McClure Motorsports number 4 Kodak Film Chevrolet after the team fired Phil Parsons. Irvan took over at race 4 in Atlanta, starting 30th and finishing 3rd, his first career top 5 finish. He ran the remainder of the season full-time for the number 14. His best start was 1st 3 times at Bristol and Pocono in the spring, then Richmond in the fall. His best finish was 1st at Bristol in the fall. Overall, he scored 3 poles, 1 win, 6 top 5s, and 13 top 10s, finishing 9th in final Cup Series points. In the Xfinity Series, he made 7 starts, 2 in the number 58 Pontiac for Rodney Franklin. His best start was 6th, and his best finish was 5th, both coming at Rockingham in the spring. He also made 5 starts in the number 75 You-Can Rent Oldsmobile, owned by Charlie Anderson. His best start was 10th at Bristol in the fall, and his best finish was 2nd at IRP in the summer. Overall, between the 2 rides, he scored 1 top 5 and 3 top 10s in 7 starts in total. After a few seasons of finding his feet, finally it seemed Ernie Irvan found his spot in NASCAR, behind the wheel of the number 4 Kodak Film Chevrolet full-time. His best start was 1st at Talladega in the spring, and his best finish was 1st twice, the 1991 Daytona 500 and Watkins Glen in the summer. Overall, he scored 1 pole, 2 wins, 11 top 5s, and 19 top 10s, finishing 5th and finally NASCAR Cup Series point standings. In the Xfinity Series, Irvan formed his own team, the number 10 Mack Tools Chevrolet. He made 15 starts, but was plagued by DNFs, 10 in those 15 starts. His best start was 1st, and his best finish was 1st, both coming at Rockingham in the fall. Overall, he scored 1 pole, 1 win, 3 top 5s, and 4 top 10s. The success continued for the number 4 team in Irvan for the 1992 Cup Series season. His best start was first, 3 times, at Talladega in the spring, then at Bristol and Richmond in the fall. His best finish was first 3 times, at Sonoma in the spring, then at Daytona and Talladega in the summer. Overall, he scored 3 poles, 3 wins, 9 top 5s, and 11 top 10s, finishing 11th in final Cup Series points. Now, don't get it wrong, Irvan was happy with the opportunity to drive for a top team capable of winning, though he knew he needed to find another opportunity. In the Xfinity Series, he made 13 starts in his number 4 Kodak Film Chevrolet, again plagued by DNFs, 9 in 13 starts. His best start was first at Loudon in the fall, and his best finish was first twice at Watkins Glen and Talladega in the summer. Overall, he scored 1 pole, 2 wins, 4 top 5s, and 4 top 10s. That following season in 1993, Irvan began the season again driving the number 4 Kodak Film Chevrolet for McClure Motorsports. When the Davey Allison tragedy happened, that opened up the number 28 seat at Robert Yates Racing. Yates had tried a couple other drivers in the seat prior to tabbing Irvan. Irvan was willing to make the move for the main 2 reasons. The amount of inconsistency, 9 DNFs already in the 93 season and only 21 starts, not to mention Allison was a personal friend, so when Yates asked Irvan, he almost felt obligated, in a good way. In those first 21 NASCAR Cup Series starts, his best start was first twice, at Dover in the spring and Daytona in the summer. His best finish was first at Talladega in the spring. Overall, he scored 2 poles, 1 win, 7 top 5s, and 8 top 10s. At race 22 at Darlington, Irvan made his first start with his new race team, the number 28 Texaco Haviland Ford, owned by Robert Yates Racing, with Larry McReynolds as the number 28 team's crew chief. In those final 9 starts in 1993, his best start was first twice at Martinsville and North Wilkesboro in the fall. His best finish was first twice at Martinsville and Charlotte in the fall. Overall, in 9 starts, he scored 2 poles, 2 wins, 5 top 5s, and 6 top 10s. In final NASCAR Cup Series driver points, he finished 6th. Now, in the Xfinity Series, he made 10 starts, 8 for himself in the number 4 Kodak Fun Saver Chevrolet. His best start was first 3 times at Hickory and Watkins Glen in the spring, then IRP in the summer. His best finish was second at Charlotte in the spring. He made 1 start for Bill Baumgartner's number 74 Staff America Chevrolet team at Martinsville in the fall, starting 3rd and finishing 9th. Then Irvan made 1 start in Ken Schrader's number 52 Kodiak Chevrolet at Hickory in the fall, starting 13th and finishing 27th. Unsurprisingly, in 1994, Irvan returned to the number 28 Texaco Haviland Ford full-time, or at least what was intended to be. He made the first 20 starts of the season and was having a championship-caliber season. As a matter of fact, 1994 is the exact season that earned Irvan the title of this video, a NASCAR Almost Champion. In his 20 starts, his best start was first 5 times in North Wilkesboro, Talladega, Sonoma, and Dover in the spring, then Loudon in the summer. His best finish was first 3 times at Richmond, Atlanta, and Sonoma in the spring. Overall, he scored 5 poles, 3 wins, 13 top 5s, and 15 top 10s. He even led the points for 13 out of 20 weeks he was in competition. In the Xfinity Series, he made 7 starts at the number 28 Mack Tools Ford. His best start was 3rd at Loudon in the spring. His best finish was 5th twice at Daytona and Charlotte, both in the spring. Overall, he scored 2 top 5s and 2 top 10s. Now, what derailed his championship season was a horrific accident. August 21st, 1994, Irvan was practicing on Saturday morning at Michigan International Speedway. McReynolds, his crew chief, radioed Irvan and told him to pit due to the fact that Irvan's car wasn't handling very well. Irvan made the fateful decision to make 1 more lap. Unfortunately, he blew a tire exiting turn 2 and smashed into the wall, going around 170 miles an hour. McReynolds radioed Irvan that the caution flag had just been displayed, unaware that the caution was for his car and driver. Once they realized it was their car, the team was able to get a ride from the pace car over to the scene of the accident. Due to the severity of the situation, officials refused to let them near the wreck. Irvan's condition was so bad, luckily, a local trauma doctor was on the scene and offered assistance by performing an emergency tracheotomy so Irvan could breathe. He was airlifted to St. Joseph's Hospital, where he was diagnosed with a basilar skull fracture, the same thing that killed Dale Earnhardt and so many other drivers. and lung injuries. He was only given a 10% chance of surviving through the night. The first couple of nights were touch and go, but he pulled through. Within a month and a half, he appeared and addressed the NASCAR fans before the fall Charlotte race. By the middle of September 1995, Ernie Irvan made it through all of his rehabilitation and strength training, and NASCAR cleared him for competition. He first made an attempt to qualify for a Craftsman Truck Series race at Martinsville in late September. Sadly, qualifying was rained out, meaning Irvan missed the field. The following week, he qualified second at North Wilkesboro in the Truck Series, driving his own number 28 Ford, leading 23 laps before mechanical issues ended his race. The same weekend, he also entered the NASCAR Cup Series race at North Wilkesboro, driving a number 88 Texaco Haviland Ford. He qualified 7th, took the lead on lap 128, and he led 31 laps before finishing 6th. He made a couple other Craftsman Truck Series starts in his number 28 Ford. His best finish was 2nd at Phoenix. Irvan also made 2 other Cup Series starts, one at Phoenix, where he started last due to a practice crash, but he led the most laps before finishing 40th due to engine failure. Then, at the season finale in Atlanta, he finished 7th. With their driver finally ready to return to full-time action in 1996, Robert Yates Racing welcomed Irvan back to the number 28 Texaco Haviland Ford full-time. His best start was first at Talladega in the spring, and his best finish was first twice at Loudon in the summer and Richmond in the fall. Overall, he scored 1 pole, 2 wins, 12 top 5s, and 16 top 10s, finishing 10th in final Cup Series points. In the Craftsman Truck Series, he made 3 starts behind the wheel of his number 28 Ford. Best finish was 5th at Loudon in the fall. Overall, in those 3 starts, he scored 1 top 5 and 1 top 10. For 1997, Ernie Irvan returned to the number 28 Texaco Haviland Ford full-time. His best start was first twice, at Indy in the summer and Talladega in the fall. His best finish was first at Michigan in the summer, the same track that almost took his life. Overall, he scored 2 poles, 1 win, 5 top 5s, and 13 top 10s, finishing 14th in final Cup Series points. After Irvan arrived late to a reception dinner, thanking Texaco for 10 years of sponsoring the team, along with the fact his performance statistically was falling off, Irvan was let go by Robert Yates Racing at the conclusion of the season. In the Xfinity Series, Irvan made 1 start for James Finch's number 4 at Charlotte in the spring, finishing 28th. Now, in the Craftsman Truck Series, Irvan made 3 starts, driving his own number 28 Ford. His best finish was 2nd at Martinsville in the fall. Overall, he scored 2 top 5s and 2 top 10s. That following season, in 1998, Irvan was signed to drive the number 36 Skittles Pontiac for MB2 Motorsports, with Ryan Pemberton as the team's crew chief, driving it full-time. He ran all but the final 3 races. He missed those while recovering from injuries suffered at Talladega from a wreck in October. His best start was first 3 times, at Indy in the summer, then Michigan and Martinsville in the fall. His best finish was 6th 5 times, at Daytona and Talladega in the spring, then Indy, Darlington, and Michigan in the fall. Overall, he scored 3 poles, 0 wins, 0 top 5s, and 11 top 10s, finishing 13th in final Cup Series points. In the Craftsman Truck Series, Irvan made 2 starts, and the number 28 Federated Auto Parts Ford. His best start was 8th at Richmond in the fall, and his best finish was 2nd twice at Fontana in the spring and Richmond in the fall. Overall, in 2 starts, he scored 2 top 5s and 2 top 10s. Then in 1999, Irvan made 1 Craftsman Truck Series start, driving his own number 44 Federated Auto Parts Ford at Martinsville in the spring, starting 11th and finishing 8th. In the Xfinity Series, he made 2 starts, driving his own number 14 Federated Auto Parts Pontiac. His best start was 8th at Richmond, and his best finish was 34th at Dover in the summer. Then, in the NASCAR Cup Series, Irvan returned to his number 36, now M&M's Pontiac, for what was intended to be full-time. But, as fate would have it, the season would not end up being fully ran by Irvan. In the first 21 races of the season, his best start was 2nd at Michigan in the spring. His best finish was 6th at Las Vegas in the spring. Overall, in 21 starts, he scored 5 top 10s. On August 20th, literally 5 years after his nearly fatal accident at Michigan, Irvan crashed at Michigan, driving his own number 84 Federated Auto Parts Pontiac in practice for the Xfinity Series race. Once again, Irvan was airlifted from the track, again diagnosed with head injuries and a bruised lung. On September 3rd, 1999, Irvan would announce his retirement from driving. After the accident, Irvan has had anyone, honestly, would have came to the same conclusion. Ernie Irvan had a solid NASCAR career. in the Cup Series. In 313 starts, he scored 22 poles, 15 victories, 68 top 5s, and 124 top 10s, with the best points finish of 5th in 1991. In 57 Xfinity Series starts, he scored 5 poles, 3 victories, 12 top 5s, and 15 top 10s. Then in 12 Craftsman Truck Series starts, he scored 0 poles, 0 wins, 7 top 5s, and 8 top 10s. You know, Irvan has some decent statistics, but just think, if in a different world he didn't wreck in 94 at Michigan, could he have won the championship? We'll never know. But he will forever be a NASCAR's almost champion. Thanks for watching, everyone, and take care.